before you decided to revert to Islam, and even after doing so, you usually came across many questions like why Muslims can marry 4 wives, or why jihad, fighting, killing, and getting killed are honored in Islam. Why so and so and so? Those are called misconceptions that whether you ask about them or you are asked about them, Muslims can marry 4 wives, this is injustice, or why jihad, fighting, killing, and getting killed are honored in Islam, why so and so and so. Those are called misconceptions that whether you ask about them or you are asked about them. And many of us would hasten to answer friends and relatives since we have a very reasonable answer for such questions, feeling that those answers would convince people. And actually they convince people, but surprisingly their hearts remain away from Islam and they just go for the next misconception to ask about. I recall the story of the nocturnal journey of the Prophet ﷺ when Allah brought Prophet Muhammad from Mecca to Jerusalem at night. He led the prayer with all the prophets. Then he ascended to the heavens and then came back to Mecca at the same night. The next day he told people about his journey. So the infidels of his tribe went to his dearest friend Abu Bakr, who was the first to embrace Islam. And they told him that your friend claimed that he went to Jerusalem and came back at the same night, while we take 3 months to do so. But Abu Bakr replied them and said, if he said so, he is truthful. This is an amazing answer that shows the way to deal with misconceptions raised by yourself or by people who committed themselves to attack Islam. You reverted to Islam because you encountered proofs that Islam is the true religion of Allah. And all along the way, many of your questions were being answered one after another. Sometimes you notice the wisdom of God's orders just by observing their positive consequences on you or on others, like in the case of prohibiting alcohol, or to see the negative consequences of the absence of such a law in other communities, like fornication. While other misconceptions would need a deep studying and understanding, and some of them wouldn't be ever understood. So the right answer to the many misconceptions that will be raised before you is to act like Abu Bakr, to accept Allah's orders with deep certainty. Allah says in Quran,
وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا أَن يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ وَمَنْ يَعْصِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ ضَلَالًا مُبِينًا.
As it's not permitted to debate the diagnosis of your doctor once you entered his clinic and saw his certificates and got your friend's recommendation about him, by then you have a deep certainty that the man got the knowledge about your disease. And there is no sense to raise many arguments about each step he takes at your course of treatment. You just submit to your doctor's orders, disregarding any misconception may be raised into your mind. I see many Muslims who are reluctant to speak about some parts of their religion, or to narrate some verses like the verse of jihad or punishment, while Allah says,
كتاب أنزل إليك فلا يكن في صدرك حرج منه لتنذر به وذكرى للمؤمنين.
Don't worry, the verse of Allah never misguides or expel people away from Islam. Rather, they are people's heart which are doing so. Once you embrace this concept and belief, then you can read about answers of many conceptions about Islam. While the majority of them got a very reasonable answer that increase your certainty, but take care, some other answers are not convincing at all. They were like if the author was trying to give whatever justification for what he didn't understand well. So instead of trying to justify everything, it's better to believe in everything revealed by Allah, and out of this belief, wisdom of many of those things would come over to you one day. Thank you.